All right, so we got a special one today. For no rhyme or no other reason other than it's awesome, I'm here at the Back to the Future parking lot filming location that I actually found the location through Adam the Woo. He's the only reason I even knew that this existed still. I think I might have been here as a kid, but other than that, Adam the Woo was the one that really exposed me to a lot of these like local filming locations, and I wanted to talk about that today. Welcome everybody back to the channel. Today I am at the Twin Pines Mall. If you can see behind me, it's on Face Tracker. But right behind me is the Twin Pines Mall. I decided to take a drive over to basically the memorial for Adam the Woo. You look up top. It says, "In memory of Adam Williams, aka Adam the Woo, the best friend and the world's #1 Back to the Future fan." And I can't read the top part of it. His pals. Oh, it says his pals at the bottom. So I just wanted to come check it out. Talk about Back to the Future. Blink 180 Woo. So just to give you context, as the ominous car comes down the hill, just missed having one come down that hill, we at least know the Libyans are not going to attack us at this point in time. But wait, things could change. They could change very fast. So I'm standing in the middle of this parking lot. There is nobody here. It is one of the most iconic filming locations, I think, in Hollywood history that still exists today, that's still so easily and readily accessible. And I think that's why people have adorned this spot for so many years. And just to give you context of where I'm standing, here's the light pole. If you couldn't see it, now you can, hopefully. F2. There's the parking spaces, and then you have the trees that you can kind of match up as reference markers. Now they've definitely grown over the years, so they're gonna look a little bit more packed in here. But if you could picture this, you got the light pole, you got the parking spaces. I would be up probably a little bit higher on some sort of boom dolly. But let's see if we can get this to focus. Yeah, okay, so I'm standing a little bit closer than the camera would have been standing, but right there on the right hand of the screen, you'll see the pole, and if you zoom in, it should say F2. That's obviously just showing the tail edge, right? It's almost like the edge of it's the angle of the camera, I know. All right, so you have the marker here, you have the van here, and then you got all the trees in the background. Now, truth be told, I have seen Back to the Future, but I can honestly say I was not like, it's not that I didn't like the movie, I liked the movie, but I was not a cult follower that is this, you know, underground society of nerds that just love this movie. That just wasn't me. But what got me into it, come here, you'll see the sticker that's up there, and hopefully it's still there when you're here. Adam the Woo. Adam the Woo was like a dope YouTuber, man. Like he was like super cool. And to pay homage to him, just because I feel like remembering somebody that was like really cool to me. And I hope this helps people not only heal, but just remember positive things, you know? Because that's what Adam would have wanted. So, anyways, filming location. Got it. Matched up a good portion of these buildings. I have to find a photo online, but just doing a quick this, that, and the other will show you where we're hanging out. For example, here, you can see the handrail overlooking the parking lot. And in the movie, it would have looked a little something like this. It is kind of a busy night tonight, so it's kind of hard to get over there. But just so you see, that's what it would have been. That's it. I just so happened to find someone drew the actual map, the escape map for the DeLorean when the Libyans are chasing him. That is so funny. Okay, so if we're just looking at this map, the corner of that building is right there. Right? There you go. Just looking at the corner. Right? They would have gone straight down here, up and around that corner all the way over there, zigzagged into the center much earlier than that truck would have. And then right about at this point in the parking, yeah, maybe about this point is when he actually gets a little bit of his, I guess you could say, giddy up into that 88 mile an hour time zone, or mile an hour, whatever. I guess that does make sense. 88 mile an hour time zone, because it takes him 88 miles an hour to go back in time. That is such a trip. Okay, 88 miles an hour, baby. And he left Doc's van in the parking lot. Okay, I don't know if you could hear that, but apparently that's a car. What? It was kind of insane. Did you hear? I'm gonna have to double check that. You must have heard that. That was crazy. So off track. The premise of today's video. Crazy cars going. It is Friday night, so I guess I expect that. And I can still hear that car. That's crazy. But I wanted to talk about, oh look, there's the motorcycle squad. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a bunch of them. The premise of today's video around how much this dude has not only changed my life, but I feel has changed the internet. With his cultural, significance, grassroots video, just uploading a video, just kind of pioneering. And I was watching, what was crazy is I was watching it's like a documentary I think one of his friends did, but it was about him. It's like a 17-minute video on the thing, and it's like literally interviewing who he is, what he's doing. He's wearing like a red suit jacket. And I love watching that, because I think for me, it recognizes to me that this dude had a passion, and he literally, without even a plan, I mean, ultimately, it's not that, and maybe he had some sort of actual plan, but he laid it all out on the line every day and basically showed us what that looked like. And that's why I think it's so cool, because I never would have came on a regular basis anyway to JCPenney's, right? Back to the Future fans. A incredible, iconic movie location, but also special because Adam the Woo and Justin Scarred, but Adam the Woo for the most part, had that effect on people, had that effect on culture, has that effect on YouTube now. How many people now are like trying to be Adam the Woo? You know, it's crazy. I dig it. I'm kind of into it. Like, I'm glad that like Adam the Woo kind of created a YouTube subculture because there's like types of YouTubers, and like Adam the Woo, like people take like their attributes that they like about Adam the Woo and put it in their own thing. But people have the same intros and stuff. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, I'm over here checking this abandoned pool with some Fast and the Furious going on in the background. Man, this is like the car central of the world. Not really. I mean, but it is like wide open, smooth parking lot, so I kind of get it. I think I can see this dude out here, and he's about to start drifting. Oh no. They just moved at the same time. That fast car. We might see some passerby, like some dudes just roll in here and burst out and do some like donuts or something. I've seen that before, and I can hear them rolling around this mall today. So if we see any street racers doing anything, that'd be crazy. But anyways, back over to this pool. You know what's fun about this for me is, for some reason, I'm staring at an abandoned building, and I'm like looking at like what used to be and just exploring. And I'm not gonna go inside or anything, but I'm just taking a look. But look at that. What a picture. This mall is gonna get torn down, I heard. I know there are some stores, clearly not this one. There are some stores in the mall that you can still, buy, use it as a mall. Buy stuff. I don't know what stores they are, but I came here a couple of months ago and walked around the whole thing. Came here really early in the morning. And if you get here at opening and walk around, there's nobody here. You have the whole place to yourself. Now tonight, I'm walking around. It's Friday night. I'm sure you could pick up some of the hustle and bustle in the background. Look at this freaking... just the interiors of the building. A mall in decline. That looks terrifying. I wonder if that was the same when I came here last time. But if you get here early in the morning, there is nobody here. You have like a few cars. Obviously the employees and the people that are unlocking and locking the mall, because the mall doors are closed right now. You can't go inside right now, and they lock them down for a reason. Although it's kind of crazy, even though they're going to tear all this down. Dang. Look at this, another abandoned building as another race car goes by. Yeah, this is crazy. It's just funny how like nobody cares. Because they're going to destroy this mall. They're going to take it out. Sad. I kind of feel like for a month, They should just, well, how many content creators would, like, I don't know, stay overnight? I'm actually, or you know what's crazy too? Nobody even thought of doing like a haunt in this mall. Dude, that would have been cool. Puente Hills Mall. I have to take the face tracker off, whatever. I love how dark and decrepit it looks. Yeah. Heck yeah. Awesome. But I'm so curious why no one did a Halloween haunt video, or like a maze, like a 17th door. Why didn't 17th door come to Puente? Why didn't you guys come out here? Do you know how dope that would have been? This could have been like, because if you don't know, Southern California, people like haunted attractions are like a thing, and people will obviously go and hang out. I could see plenty of people coming down here just to hang out in the parking lot and go to the haunt, and it seems like a quick money grab, dude. How much time till Halloween? Should we do this? What? I just thought of this idea right now. Can we get a haunt built and functioning and fully advertised? Probably not. No. I think you could announce it now for next year. But I don't know. Did we get to our conclusion to this video? I don't think we did. I think we're just off roaming about, but I kind of like that. I like that this video doesn't make any sense and is just kind of random, and it's kind of like filled with, it's like it's a conversation, but it's actually more like a lot of ADHD moments just happening at once. I think the message I wanted to get out to today was kind of like a thankful, appreciative one, because I just think about it. I think about it, and I think about my life, and I think just having the ability, like, it's so funny how like this little camera gives you the ability to go and do something. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, I think nowadays especially, I mean, everybody's kind of on their phones anyway, and I think that's how we get like attracted to these, like, you know, online personalities. And I think Adam the Woo was definitely one of those people where every single day he just did something and documented it. But the thing about it, he did a lot of cool stuff. I think he was, like, to me, I was living vicariously through him the whole way. You know, I think it was hard not to. I was rooting for the guy, and he was like such a nice dude when you met him. Like, if you ever had the chance to like meet Adam the Woo, or Adam, he was the nicest guy. He was one of those dudes that, like, I would assume that because he was a larger dude, like he was 6'3", I would assume that most people thought that he was like, maybe not by the way he dressed, because he kind of dressed like a little hardcore kid, but I would say this, if he was ever like, I was going to say, I think most people would assume that because he's a bigger dude and tattooed, that he was like an intimidating guy to speak to, or like he was like, you know what I mean? Like, he just had that intimidation, but he was not like that at all. He was such a dork. He was such a nerd, and I loved that. And I loved how every single thing about his videos was filled with information that was interesting. You know what I mean? And it was just him. he had this recipe and this formula, and it was just him going out with a camera, doing all of these things. And I think he developed a very good routine over time. But ultimately, it took him, I mean, listen, he's been doing this. He had been filming for quite some time before he like popped off. I mean, he is the reason why I got my 2 cameras that I have, because I literally have like the Adam the Woo freaking starter kit as far as cameras go. What is it? What was his first one? I have the other one. It's in the case. It's a G7X. G7. I think mine is the G7X Mark II, or maybe Mark III. I don't remember. But it's literally whatever one that he had. And I got and I had to get the little tripod that he had. Oh my God, dude. Every single thing that he got and was using, I was like, dude, I had to go get that same exact thing. And I literally did that. And the only reason I have this camera, this DJI camera today, is because granted, I think the reason I bought the camera is because I do have an interest in film. I do have an interest in filming. The reason why I loved his channel so much is because I loved all the things that he was doing, and I wanted to do all those things. Literally want to do those exact things. So it's like, it's just funny to me that someone like him would... There's that freaking car again. Dude, did you hear that? This place is going crazy today. Oh my God. All I was trying to say was I followed a lot of the things that he liked to do as well. I'm totally one of those kids that like fell in love with the format that he had. He woke up every day and did a video, and you know, I just think that's super, super incredible for me. I mean, to me, you know what the actual interesting experience for me is, the movie itself is cool. I get it. I understand that. I'm literally in the runway where the DeLorean took off and went back to the future. But I thought that it was so cool how cool they thought it was. Meaning like Adam the Woo, Justin, like all the original YouTubers, or the original, circle of goodness. I loved how much they loved it. And I think that's the recipe for any of the success that any of them have, is when I watch a Justin Scard or an Adam the Woo, I'm not only watching something they love, but I'm watching them love it, and I love how much they love that thing. And that's super fun, and that's super refreshing. And it's just, I think that's why I think it's cool, because I don't have to be a filmer like Adam the Woo was. And I don't think people should. I think people can emulate different things about people that they like. That's how you get better. That's what everyone should do. But I don't think we should try to be him. I think we should just let him be, and kind of be the memory of him, I guess, in a way. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just living out loud. But I think what this parking lot means for me is watching that duo, because I watched their videos for a long time. Watching the Adam the Woo and Justin Scard duo, and now we have a helicopter. How appropriate. Enjoy these locations so much. And then on a sadder note, when he actually passed away, we got cars over here going crazy. they setting up to do something. But what this parking lot means for me is, oh dang, and now we got the searchlight out, dog. Look at this. I'm trying to tell a story. Maybe this wasn't the place to come to tonight. What the heck? Anyways, I just want to get this out before I probably move down the road, because it seems like this place is going to be... I can already see helicopters, I can hear cars, like whatever. I think there's a meetup tonight, and I think the cops are about to try to stop this right now at the Back to the Future parking lot. That's dope. But what this parking lot means for me is all of those memories that I was watching Adam the Woo. I watched Adam the Woo for years, and then when I saw Justin Scarred come over here and like kind of pour out his feelings, like I felt that, dude. I felt that. I was there with you the whole time. And Justin, I don't even think I've ever met you. But Adam, I've met him a couple of times for sure. But I don't know. I think I felt that spirit that they both carried with each other, and like that whole thing. Like that meant a lot to me. I just want you to know that. Like that meant a lot to me. Look at this dude. People hustling around, bro. I'm just over here filming, so we're not really doing nothing, but it's getting a little crazy over here. I think it's probably time to leave. I just wanted to get that out. And I feel like I'm in an 80s movie where these fools are about to come, like, I feel like they're gonna come and like circle around me or something. I have no reason to think that, but like it just feels like it. Yeah, when Justin and Adam would come here, and then I would see all the meetups. I would see how much the meetups, how many people would come here for the meetups, not just his like own personal meetups, but they also used to, then I think there's still going to be one more this year, and I want to go to one. I think it's on the 25th of October, and it's a meetup for the Back to the Future just like crew or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm about to get, look, these fucking dudes are like, I'm literally over here talking about Back to the Future. And that's my car. Like, literally. I'm not a street racer, bro. I ain't no. I'm a wannabe. So don't come hurt me. I'm not judging you. Dang, this place seems kind of crazy right now. I'm not gonna lie. I can see the event kind of picking up, and it seems like these people that keep driving past are like lookouts. I think there might be a race. Bro. Yeah, people are getting crazy. I think we're gonna head down the road a little bit and cool off the legs. I think it's a little warm out here, but I also don't want to upset any street racers that are in this area currently tonight. I have nothing to do with your demise, because the cops are gonna, they'd come out so fast. But And actually, that'd be kind of funny. I want to see him bust it up. I'm just kidding. No, I just don't want to get in the way. These things can get gnarly. That's the only thing. These things, like the little car meetups, because it starts up as a car meetup and then it's a race and then it's all this other stuff, and it gets lit, and it's Friday night, like, so it's gonna be crazy. And what better place to kind of do it than at the Back to the Future Mall? Because, like, legit, dude, you could block off some space. You know what I mean? And look, the Fast and the Furious crew is rolling up right now. Everybody's coming over here. Everybody's coming over here. What the hell? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit paranoid. Let's move on down the road, bro. Let's get on down the road, and we'll talk about... I do have another place that I would like to go. So maybe we can do that. Sorry about all that, y'all. I just wasn't sure what was happening before. I drove around the block, went and used the restroom, then came back around. And I know it may have seemed farther away than it was, but it was just right over here. There was a lot of, like, just like all of these cars rolled up and parked. It was like 20 or 30 of them. And then you could see, then driving around, I drove around to Canes. Because if you look at this at an overhead map, it's kind of like a star pattern almost, or like a plus sign, which I can totally understand are not the same thing, but like it, you know what I mean? It has like sections, like a star does, or the plus, you know, you get me. All right. So I went to the other side, and I was looking around, and my busted little car over here, if you turn it like just at the right spot, it because what happened was, so somebody, well, I know who it was. I was at work one day and somebody hit my car and ripped off the bumper. The insurance, blah, 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 everything went through. I signed all the paperwork for it, whatever, blah, it's my car now, okay? The thing about it is, I signed the paperwork okaying everything that they did. So that's a key factor in this conversation before I even start telling the story, because my car gets hit. I was at work. It was with a company vehicle. Company vehicle hit my car. The company paid for it. All good. Took forever to get my car back because it was during the pandemic. But got the car back. Everything looked fine to me. It was a quick, like, this is your car, here's your bumper, boom. I could tell that it wasn't like, because when it got hit, like half of it was hanging in the street, right? Everything was attached to the car. So, I mean, from there on, it kind of like looked good to me. Whatever. Later on, the clips that hold the bumper, I think, broke. And also, I don't think that they did a good enough job repairing the car in general. But I can't do anything because I signed over the paperwork, so it's a completely brand new issue, even though it's most likely their fault. Long story. Anyways, had to get that out of the way. I'm driving around these cars that are clearly street racing cars. Even if they're not like super nice cars, they're like clearly like way better than mine, because when I turn, you hear the inner part of the bumper, which is now hanging, which is part of my story. That's why, like, when you turn, like, almost like a 90-degree turn, or I just, like, you just hit the right spot, it goes, because it's hitting the inside of the freaking bumper itself, which isn't good. I don't want to have this car anymore. I really want to get rid of it, but I, like, love driving it, and I don't want to just rip the bumper off. It's a fun little car. The AC is definitely leaking. The pedal was there before. It's a fun little car. This little car is so cool to drive. They're so much fun. It's a Hyundai Veloster, and this is a manual transmission. It's just a tiny little tiny little bug, basically. You know what I mean? It's like the cousin to a slug bug. Basically. But it's a fun little car. It's fun. It's fun to zip around on. It's fun to, yeah, I like it. I like driving it, but I want to get rid of it. Actually, I just want the problem fixed, and I don't want to spend the money to fix it. So I think I'm just going to get a new car. I don't have money to do that. That's what I want to do. Because I don't really want to put money in it. I'm just, I dread turning. So annoying. I need to do something. Because it is, I mean, you hear it. It's like when a bike has like a card in the wheel, and you hear, it's almost something like that. But it's a little bit more like, what it sounds like is like that my bumper is scraping on on the curb or something. That's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Whatever. So much to do. Not the point of this video. However, we're getting back to it because all the cars have cleared out, and I want to get back to the whole premise of this video. I was getting in my car this morning, or this morning I was thinking about tonight, and I was getting in my car, going down to visit my parents and pick up they're getting rid of a bunch of stuff, so here's a box of stuff. Do you want it? Sure, okay, let me come get it. Well, I had to drive from Long Beach, and I was like, well, I'm already down here. Like, I was gonna go to Los Angeles. I was gonna drive to LA tonight. And just because, I'm an exploring, what I wanted to do was just walk down Hollywood Boulevard, which I may or may not do in the future. Well, I probably will do it in the future, but when that'll be, I have no idea. Because I was gonna do it tonight. Now the thing is, it's a trek for me to get from Tustin down to Hollywood Boulevard and then home. It's not as much traffic. It's definitely not as much traffic, but it just seemed like a big effort, and I was probably gonna have to pay for parking, $25 lot. And I was like, I'm in Long Beach. Let me go drive down the freeway. And I was like, man, you know what? Let me come over here. And I just felt like the point of tonight's video was to kind of relive some of the memories and feelings that I would get when I would watch some of his videos. Now, when I would watch some of Adam LeWoo's videos, and it's pretty similar with Justin Scard, where it's like you're living vicariously through them because they are at this place that they saw on television, and now they're filming it and documenting it for us to see. And I think there's an interesting conversation to be had about there is a feeling you get when you're standing in front of something for real, and that is what I find is, I don't want to say it's like the purpose in life, but like that is I love that. Like, that is my quest. What does it feel like when you get to stand in front of that thing? And I've been like that my whole life. So, my favorite quote came from a movie, and I'll never get it quite right. I'll never get the quote right, but the meaning is what sat with me. And I think the meaning of that relates to Adam LeWoo and Justin Scard, because they spent many a nights in crazy parking lots like this. Like, you would think that because this is such a world-renowned filming location, that it would, you would think that because this is a world-renowned filming location, that this would be like guarded with some sort of security and laws and rules. And it's like, yes, there is obviously of regular society, but it is just an open parking lot for all to come and explore. And it is kind of ironic that the Back to the Future side of the mall is so much more empty than the other side. The other side, all of these areas are like filled up with people. The other side has a theater too, which I think is still open. But going on so many tangents tonight. What I'm saying is, coming to a place like this where you can map out the whole route for the Back to the Future car. That was basically as a quick version of the whole route. You know, right over there as a car comes down the hill, the Libyans come. You know, this is a whole thing. This is Hollywood history. And Adam the Woo, and people like Adam the Woo and Justin Scard showed this kind of stuff to us because we knew this stuff existed. And I think there are people that from time to time would travel to maybe one, you know, publicly known thing. Like it was never, but they put it in a video. They put it, and now everybody wants to do that. And it's so crazy because I want to do that. But there's so much that has already been documented. And I think was documented. The thing that was special about Adam and Justin, especially in the beginning, was there was nobody else really doing this kind of stuff. You know, they really kind of were, to some extent, the, you know, low end of society, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? They didn't have jobs. They were, I don't know how old. I know Adam must have been in his 30s, living in a van down by the river. You know, but he made a career of living in a van down by the river, and he documented everything. But there is something to be said about standing in the place that history was made. This is the corner building that in the movie said JCPenney on the side. And this little stretch of road right here in the Back to the Future scene, the Libyans are chasing Michael J. Fox. Coming around here, driving here. You see this in the background, not only in this section, this corner, but when the car ends up, so the car is getting chased from here, comes around, comes here, drives up around to the last planter, U-turn, S-turns in here, and here, got a point. And S turns in here, and then 88 miles an hour. While the big van, is sitting right underneath this light. Hollywood history, that corner of the building over there is in the movie too. I forget, I think it's Sears. It must be Sears and JCPenney's. I already forget what it is. I'll have to pull up a picture. That corner is in the movie. This whole side of the building is basically in the movie and the parking lot. The only thing that's truly kind of missing nowadays is the ticket booth that would have been driven into, or I think it was like a coffee, like drive-through type thing. And it seems to me like that would have been in this area, kind of, something like that. I'm not sure. But you know, especially on one of the return trips, I think he crashes into it. Anyways, this is a full-on experience. When you see such an iconic moment, and okay, and then let it be told, this whole side of the parking lot is literally where we get the cultural phenomenon of Back to the Future. That whole event, it's similar fashion to the moment Marilyn Monroe stood over the grate for her movie that she was promoting, and then the dress was blowing up. Like, that staple happened because of Marilyn Monroe's story. Back to the Future over here staple mattered because of Michael J. Fox and all that kind of stuff. But that all happened here. Like that, where all of the Back to the Future phenomenon type stuff happens. I'm walking back to my car to get another battery. The whole reason you have a Back to the Future phenomenon is obviously because of the movie, but this is the place that it happened. It's like standing over the grate, like I said, where Marilyn Monroe had her moment, which still exists, by the way. The grates still exist. I've wanted to go and see those too, just because I love seeing, you know, iconic attractions like that. But yeah, it's just incredible to me that the phenomenon that is, like, the reason everybody knows what a DeLorean is because of that movie. DeLorean wasn't even that popular of a car until Back to the Future. I think Back to the Future totally put it on the map, and now everyone thinks it's cool. But it was like one of the worst failing, you know, cars of all time. It's a whole thing. You should watch a documentary on it if you get a chance. But the Back to the Future cultural phenomenon happened in this parking lot, right before your eyes. And that is such a wonderful and exciting thing to see for your own eyes. But even as I come here and think of the Back to the Future cultural phenomenon that Back to the Future is, even as I'm here experiencing that, the movie aspect, I'm experiencing the fact that Adam the Woo, Justin Scar, you could still see him, he's, you know, still with us, but all the times that Adam the Woo came here, I think about that too, which is kind of interesting. But he has kind of become that guy. He is kind of now, just like this place is a filming location, a lot of the places that he has gone have now become places to go and see for fans like myself, because it's tied back to the love and, you know, fanaticism, I don't know, fandom that people like me had with, you know, and lived vicariously through people like Adam the Woo, you know. And I think it's easy to kind of look past the seriousness of, or the whole impact of what someone like Adam had on the YouTube world and vlogger world. I think it's easy to look past him just because of his name. I think his name is rather silly, and he did bring a fair amount of comedy to his videos. And he did have that kind of, you know, he had that kind of punk rock, rebellious, you know, kind of funny, joking around attitude. But it was all so, I don't know how to explain. It was just all so entertaining, you know, and it was a good vibe, and he knew so much about the locations. I don't know. I have gone every which way as far as tangents go, and the only thing that I can think about is it's really cool to be here, and I'm grateful to be here in this moment, because there may be a day where this parking lot doesn't even exist anymore. And then not only the movie, but my place to come and think about my favorite YouTuber of all time will be both gone. So two locations that are one location that has two meanings behind it will be gone. But you know, you got to enjoy the things while they're here. I keep hearing they're going to take this out. That's why I'm speaking the way I am. You know, I haven't heard of any official plans, but I heard a lot of talk of like one last meetup and one last this. So you can tell that it's not going to be very long until, you know, within the next couple of years for sure. Months even. I mean, the second they block any of this off, it's over. You know, it's over. They said in October we'd have a meetup to come, and I really, really, really want to come out. I really want to come out for that. So I'll definitely have to do my absolute best to make it out here. I will. I think it's a later event anyway too. So as long as I don't like work overnight, I should be over here. But yeah. Like I said, no rhyme or reason to this video. Just wanted to make one and wanted to talk about just my feelings on this area. Just talk. don't know if you can see this, but the moon looks incredible tonight. Man, I really could just sit in this parking lot and just stare. I don't know why that is. Isn't that such an interesting thing? It's like nothing's happening. But I think just sitting in the place where something did happen and just thinking about that is just kind of cool. I don't know. This almost feels, I mean, to me, this is like the equivalent of being on like a back lot, like movie, you know, like Universal, like it's like the equivalent of being on the Universal Studios backlot tour, where you're walking around and you're seeing all the different buildings. Like, you know, these are all facades or something. I mean, it's a real mall. It's definitely a real location, and it won't be for much longer. But this whole area to me feels as like impactful as if you were on the backlot tour seeing that building from that movie, you know, that you saw when you were like a child, you know, kind of thing. So it's definitely impactful. I get it. The truck driver dude is not playing around. People around here are not shy. They're crazy. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy. It's like, it's crazy to think about how such a cultural phenomenon could just be sitting right here. And I see it. I see people that know that this parking lot is this parking lot, and it's funny to see people just cut across the parking lot. And you can always tell who the fans are because they want to. But the thing is, too, it's like if someone's like over here, they also don't want to like impede. So it's kind of like people are super polite at the same time. But if there's space, lo and behold, you will see somebody at some point jet across the parking lot. If not, I'm freaking doing it. And I don't know if this video has made any sense at all, but I guess what I'm trying to say is follow your heart, kids. That was terrible. And I am not sure if this video has made any sense to anybody at all whatsoever. But I guess what I'm trying to say is follow your heart, kids. Follow your dang heart. That's right. Anyways, I was just tapping in. I always wanted to like sit down and have like a long conversation with Adam LeWoo and Justin Scard. Probably could happen with Justin, you know, for sure. There's plenty of time left. But that's the thing, is like you kind of just never know. And that was his story too. The Adam LeWoo story was a story of such... I was thinking about it. I was thinking about this today. And like what this kind of like meant to me. And how it affected me. And has affected me. I think I grew up with Adam LeWoo. I think that was 100%. I don't want to say my early adulthood, you know. We were, you know, oh, I don't know. How old was he when he passed? 51, 52? I'm 34. So there was quite an age difference. It's not like him and I would have grown up together. He was much older than I was. I think, in fact, I saw in one of the documentaries, he was like 17 when they moved somewhere. And like, I saw it in one of the documentaries. There's like I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff online. Believe what you want, I guess. Anyways, this is what it said in the documentary, that age 17, I think they moved. Point is, they pointed out it was 1991, and I was born in 91. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't know. There was just something. Look, here we go. What'd I say? What did I say? Turn, turn, turn. I see you. I see you. She's like, they're trying to get the sneak. They're gonna go 88 miles an hour. They're gonna do it. They're gonna pass. The Libyans are gonna catch up to you at that speed. You gotta go faster. You gotta go faster. You gotta go faster. There you go. Good for you. You went back to the future. Good job. Well, that was insightful. No. Yeah, Adam LeWoo, his legacy to me, what he means to someone like me was like, I literally was one of those people that like, I was at a point in my life and I was kind of needing something to grab onto. So I was going to the gym, I was doing all this kinds of stuff to try to just better myself. But every single morning, because I was going through a rough time. And I always kind of knew about him. I always knew about him. Because I used to work at one of the theme parks he would attend, like frequently. So that's actually how I figured out who he was. But then he started to become more and more prominent. Holy crap, there goes 88 miles an hour. Dang it. See it? See it? See it? Oh, just missed the tail end of it, bro. Just missed the tail end of it. Dang. Everybody wants to do it, bro. Everybody wants to do it. But see, what an iconic moment. We going for round 2, dog? We going for round 2? This fool's really about to try round 2 right now. Please go. Guy got his car out here. Remote control DeLorean. Heck yeah. That's awesome. See, but I think it's just fun. It's like a cultural, it really is kind of like a cultural phenomenon. I mean, people literally come out here and, hold on, my wife's calling. So as the night starts to calm down and I walk across the DeLorean's pathway, I'm entering into the opposite side of the parking lot. There's kind of a wide angle version of where we are at. This is the upper post. The DeLorean comes around here. Right, so we got a good view of the entire parking lot. DeLorean comes basically up right here in front of us and up and around that pole. S turns into the middle. 88 miles an hour. Gone, baby. That is all she wrote. No, but really, I was trying to figure out how to like bring this video to a close, because in the beginning of this video I was on the opposite side of the parking lot and right over my shoulder was a group of drift car racers. I don't know what you call them. Dudes that do this to this freaking ground. Do you know what I mean? All this, it is covered in tire marks. There you go. People that do this to the ground. Crazy. I see why though. I see why there's so many, because this ground is so slick. And look, wide open. It's just wide open. Perfect place, to be honest, for someone to just whip it. I don't even know if that's a cool term or not. But coming over here, talking about Adam the Woo, there's literally somebody at the pole right now paying their respects to not only the movie, but the icon, Adam the Woo, and all different people who came before him. Actually, but that's kind of the thing. No one really came before him. He came before everybody else. He was the pioneer of this stuff. But it's interesting because it's opened up a culture and subculture of people that like doing this kind of thing for fun and end up actually making it into a career. So it's kind of incredible the groundbreaking like blueprint that Adam the Woo gave everybody just from his sheer determination, will, and desire to live his life as authentically as possible and go to really fun and cool places like the Back to the Future lot, Back to the Future parking lot, Twin Pines Mall, aka Puente Hills Mall. But so I think it's super cool and so creative that I mean I think it's super cool, and just like that's just what they did. They really pioneered a way for all of these people like myself who maybe one day hopefully could actually make a living off of our videos. But it turned it into like, this is like a culture of things that like people do. Like people go, for example, like people go bowling, or people go to the movies, or people go to, now it's a cultural phenomenon, I think, that so many people want to now have their own YouTube channel and go to all of these locations. Right over my shoulder, you got another car coming in hot. Just tried to do it a second ago. But now you have like, this is what I do for fun. I come to these locations now for fun because I think it's super cool. I used to work a lot of different like haunted attractions, one big one in particular, but big company and whatever, we don't need to say it. People know. The people who know. Just kidding. But I've worked at theme parks for my whole life, and that has become a thing that a lot of people started to like really do over the years because of all the passes. But with all the passes, it's like it really kind of has hit an explosion of kind of breaking through into its own thing. I don't know how else to describe it, but it really is breaking into its own thing. Like whether you have a big following or not, people will go to places just to go and film, to try to, because it's all one big thing. And there's the top creators and there's the top, but there really is a cultural movement of people that like do this kind of thing. So it's just funny because I mean that's what it was in the beginning. I say that because I wouldn't even really have thought to come to these film locations as much as I think about it now. I think about it a lot now because I was exposed to passions of people that were wealths of knowledge with all these kinds of locations. So I think for me to come down here and for like-minded people There's a guy over there by the pole. That like this kind of stuff. They really broke into the center of the universe. Like, they broke into the center of the internet, and then they started this whole thing. It's kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to bring that up. I was going to say sliding, like sliding at Not Scary Farm. That's a whole conversation in itself. But, I don't know. I don't know if anything I'm saying is going to make any difference. I guess people go to graveyards to pay homages to the dead. People go to church to celebrate their faith, you know. And I think I come to filming locations because I want to pay my respects not only to the films and talents that go into making those films, but the people that, like Adam the Woo, that originally documented these sorts of locations just for fun and then somehow ended up turning it into a career. Boom, done, cut, thank you. That was the line of the night. Incredible.